Hey y'all, welcome back to the Doghouse. We talked about our 4 things that dog training is. Yes, I like that thing you just did. I like what you're doing. Give me more of that. That's incorrect and that's unacceptable. So once I have those 4 things, then I can be able to shape the behaviors that I want. So let's start with number 1. Number 1 is, yes, I like that thing you just did. Now that's marker training, clicker training. You might hear other people refer to it as those sorts of things. A rewards-based system, you'll hear people say, or positive reinforcement. So what I need to do is in those moments, I have to have a way to mark that behavior. And that's where clickers come into play. Or I might say, yes, okay? So it's not to get the attention, right? So I'm not going to run around just going, right? That's not the point, right? And we've all seen that happen. But you guys might remember, or the name Pavlov and his dogs might just ring a bell. Okay, well, what I want to do is he would ring the bell and he would give the food, ring the bell and give the food. And eventually when you ring the bell, they know food's coming. Okay, that's nothing major. That's every time you go open the cheese bag in the refrigerator to get you a little cube of cheese and all the dogs come running in because they heard that, or your potato chips or whatever. That's all it is. That's it. So what I want to do is I want to make my clicker or my voice, and I might say yes or zip or bang or it really doesn't matter, and then pair it with a cookie or a pat on the head or what have you, depending on my dog. Some dogs like to play tug. Some dogs want me to throw the ball. Most dogs like cookies, but not all of them. So you have to come up with a way to pair a reward. Okay, and so, no, you don't chew my shoes. Oh my goodness. So we have us a little puppy, and we have us a clicker, and of course we have our voice, obviously. So we're going to take a look at what that looks like. All right. So one thing I want to do is I want to make sure that it's almost like a metronome. Click, cookie, yes, cookie, and it needs to be roughly a second or 2. Right? So what I don't want to do is say yes or click and give the cookie at the same time. Okay, so that would be incorrect because it just wouldn't pair. It's not like, well, my method is the only way. It doesn't pair. That's classical conditioning. So if I click and give the cookie at the exact same time, they don't pair. If I give the cookie then click, they don't pair. If I click and wait 10 seconds to give the cookie, they don't pair. So in the beginning, it really needs to be, and only in the beginning, it really needs to be click, cookie, or yes, cookie, yes, cookie. Okay? Now, what does that look like with my dog? So I have a puppy, and I have some, but don't you do that. No, stop it. Don't you do that, you silly thing. You silly thing. And then I present the cookie. Okay? Now, I might drop it down on the floor. I might, and then present the cookie. Okay? So I want to mix that up a little bit, but as long as I'm clicking and then hitting the reward. Now see, she's already giving me a sit. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I can start marking that along the way. Okay? But that's it. If I do that, say 4 or 5 sessions a day for maybe 10 to 20 clicks at a time, right? It will not take long for that sound to mean reward, right? Yes, and then I can give the cookie. Okay? Now that's all it is. That's all it is. And in this phase, I'm going to be presenting a cookie every single time. Okay? Now, once I start moving into trying to shape the behaviors that we want, then I'm going to start varying when I give those cookies, but we'll talk about that again in another video. But right now, for the next couple of days, just, and then give a cookie. Right? Or say yes, and then give a cookie. Okay? Now, that's a great little tool for creating marker training, right? That's classical conditioning. But I can also do it, now this little girl, her name is Harley. Okay? Now I can also say, Harley, present the cookie. And this becomes the name game, right? Harley, give a cookie. Okay? Harley, toss a cookie. Harley. And what eventually happens is that name gets this response too. So it's a great name game. But it's all classical conditioning. Again, just like, yes, I know you like that game, don't you? She loves that game. They all do, really. Right? But it's the same thing as when you open that cheese bag or whatever, rattle the whatever it is, and they come a-running. That's all that means. It's classical conditioning, guys. So that's how, yes, I know, she's very excited to get started and move past this simple game. So train smart, train often, guys, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.